Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me today for a very special care package installment here on the channel. Received unexpectedly a very kind package from a YouTube personality that I was not expecting. So I had sent this individual, and we'll get to it in a minute, some cards recently, just a small handful. Didn't expect anything in return. It was definitely a no strings attached type care package. Just had a couple cards laying around that I thought would be a better fit and maybe more appreciated in his collection than in mine. So batched them up and sent them out, which is something I try to do every week, at least, get one or two care packages out the door. Sometimes I'm more successful than others. But in this case, wasn't expecting anything back and found a box on my doorstep a week or so ago now. And at first was very surprised. I recognized the address. I was really excited. But the excitement was quickly replaced by some trepidation because the USPS had really manhandled this flat rate box. I mean, check out this corner. You can't even call this a box any longer. It's no longer a square shape. Got pretty well demolished. Thankfully, the person who sent it did a good job. I've since removed it, but there was a heavy dose of like bubble wrap in here that was protecting all of this. And I took that out just to speed up the video, although I have not yet looked at the actual contents. But yeah, I mean, you can see here, this was crushed, to the point where we actually have daylight coming through the bottom of the box. So not really the greatest job by the Postal Service there, but I'm happy to report, I guess we'll see in a moment here, but it looks like, thanks to some really good packaging that the contents arrived unscathed. And I can tell you now, without having looked at this, just based on the weight and the size of this package alone, this individual did way too much, and I'm going to have to hit him back. So who am I talking about? This is David at T&D Sports Cards. And here's a nice note that he sent. Hello, Shoebox. Thank you again for your generosity and support. Here are a few cards I thought might fit into your collection or a Z folio. Hope you are well and look forward to sharing more in the future. Talk to you soon, David at T&D Sports Cards. So that's very touching. I appreciate the note, David. For those of you who don't know, I'll leave a link below, but if you're not familiar with T&D Sports Cards, I cannot recommend checking them out enough. David specializes in unopened product, but what I love about his channel, and it's not a knock on anyone else's by any means, but the stuff that he opens is so rare, at least in my estimation. I mean, he'll mix in the new stuff from time to time and get a hobby box or a blaster of modern product. But, mixed alongside that, he's opening packs from, the 70s and 80s, just really old stuff that you never get to see unopened. I mean, I don't get to catch every one of his videos because he posts multiple times a week and I struggle to keep up with everybody's content. But just the ones I've watched in the recent past included, 70s basketball, 70s O-Pee-Chee baseball, right up to modern day product. I joked around with him recently in the comments section that I sort of envision his house as just being full of like Scrooge McDuck-like piles of unopened boxes and wax packs from back in the day. So he's just got an amazing unopened collection. And I just think it's really, really cool that he uses this platform to share that with us. And we get to experience, vicariously opening up some product that, quite honestly, most of us will probably never get a chance to open on our own because you just don't find it anymore. I mean, unopened product from the 70s, for example, is just, there's not a lot of it left out there. And, what is left out there is probably pretty expensive if you were to try to track some down. So I just think it's really, really cool that David has the type of backlog that he does. He seems to have an unending stash of just really, really unique unopened products. So I can't say enough good things about his channel. Obviously, as evidenced by the fact that he sent me back, a big old batch of cards here that were in no way necessary. You can tell he is just one of the good guys, or one of the good ones here on the platform and in the hobby. And I'm just so appreciative to count you as a hobby friend, David. So thank you so much. And right out of the gate, I recognize these two. So David knows I'm a buyback fan, and he opened one of the blasters, I believe it was, of the Leaf Memories Pro Set based release that came out, I think, late last year. And I recognize these as being the buybacks that he pulled in that product. So very, very cool of you to pass these along to me. From the 91 Pro Set release, we have Vincent Damphousse. This is the gold buyback, number 2 of 5. And then from the inaugural pro set release. This is really cool for you Canucks fans out there. Petri Skryko, and this is the red, which are 1-of-1 buybacks. So these are just really, really cool. Didn't open any of this myself, so that's kind of like my first exposure to some of these pro set buybacks in hand. I have picked up one or two actually off eBay, so I shouldn't say that. I'm saving those for an upcoming episode, but really, really cool of you to send me those. So thank you, David. Next up, we've got a Tucarask Prism, and it's neat that David included this one. So he opened up some of this product because, again, he seems to have everything in unopened format. And I believe it mentioned me in the video because I've shown a lot of these Prism parallels and base cards. I'm a really big believer in this set. This is the only standalone Prism hockey set that Panini released before they lost their NHL license. And really cool to get the recently retired Stanley Cup champion Tucarask here from Prism. Just awesome. Here's another really cool one. This is 86 Topps. Kevin Dineen, Whalers fan favorite, played for the franchise for many, many years, well over a decade, and scored the final goal in the history of the Hartford Whalers before they moved down to Carolina. So we'll always be remembered for that. More Whalers goodness here. Here's a Greg Millen from 84. This looks like it might be O-Pee-Chee. Yep, I could tell the front was a little brighter, and certainly the back, much brighter cardstock. So really nice goaltender card there of Greg Millen. Some awesome additions to the Whalers PC here. This is really, really cool, David. Here's one. Ooh, this is going to test my knowledge. And this came out in my defense before I was born, but this is the infamous 80-81 hockey release by Topps, which had the scratch-off puck. So the player's name is actually listed below this, and you would actually have to scratch this off with a coin to see who the player name was. So it's kind of like a gimmick for kid collectors to be able to learn the players. And what's neat about it is even the back doesn't mention the player by name. They don't give it away on the back. So there's nothing on this card that will tell you who this is other than, you know, scratching this off. So it's kind of generally detested by collectors as time's gone by. And I can appreciate that. I think it's a little bit gimmicky, but I do think they're neat. Because Topps at least tried something different, which is something they don't seem to do these days all that much in the realm of baseball, having a monopoly there. So, you know, sometimes you're going to fail, sometimes you're going to succeed, but at least if you're thinking outside the box, I appreciate that for better or worse. So I'm actually not a hater of these cards as much as, you know, many other folks are. I think they're kind of unique. And if nothing else, you know, just kind of a nice point in time look at Topps trying something a little bit different. It's early here in the morning to start the week when I'm recording this on a Monday morning. We'll probably post it up on Tuesday. So I'm kind of drawing a blank on who those two guys were. So we'll have to circle back around on those. Next up, we got an 83-84 O-Pee-Chee Ron Francis. Beautiful card. Probably or definitely the best, the all-time Hartford Whaler. Just does not get enough hobby respect, quite honestly. And this is a really mint second year Ron Francis. I'm actually thinking maybe David probably pulled this from a pack himself. Probably pulled most or all of these cards from a pack himself because that's how he rolls. But man, talk about a sweet Ronnie franchise. That is absolutely gorgeous. I may have to move that into like a one-touch, quite honestly, because that card is just in stellar condition. I mean, I'm halfway through this, David, and I can, you know, already say that you just went above and beyond here. I'm gonna have to find some more things to send your way, which I will do. And then we've got a couple baseball cards here. So here's a brand new Xander Bogaerts out of 2022 Topps, and this is really cool because I had quite a few 2022 Topps packs opened for me by the great Diamond Princess, and I showed the spoils of those breaks. But in all those packs, I didn't get a base Xander. So this is actually a need for me, and this is going to get scanned and then go right into my Xander Z Folio. So your note was actually dead on, David, and this will indeed be going into a Z Folio. And then here's a nice Stars of MLB Raffy Devers. As I'm recording this, it broke yesterday that Trevor Story has been signed by the Boston Red Sox. So, man, talk about a stellar infield heading into the 2022 season here. You've got Devers, Bogaerts, and Trevor Story all manning the infield for the Boston Red Sox. Really excited about what this season holds for us Boston fans. And then here is a nice one, Jaron Duran rookie card. In my opinion, one of the more intriguing players, and I'm looking forward to kind of seeing how they can produce for the club this year. I think this is one of the better sneaky good rookies to get out of the 2022 Topps product. So that's fantastic. Here's an 85 Leaf Bruce Hearst. I don't know if you know this or not, or if this is pure coincidence, David, but I've actually mentioned this set in the past because of all the Leaf releases in the 80s. I really love the 85 because of this super cool Leaf logo. And much like the Hartford Whalers logo kind of has a hidden element to it, I love that this green leaf has the one white portion of it, which actually forms a letter L for Leaf. So just a big fan of that logo and a big fan of this set as a result of that logo, and definitely didn't have this Bruce Hearst stud pitcher at the top of the rotation for Boston throughout the 80s. And then check this out. Last here for the single cards, a Carlton Fisk from 78, and this looks pack fresh. I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen a 1978 card that looks this good. Absolutely insane. This looks as nice as the 2022 Jaron Duran that just spilled right out of a pack. You would have no idea that this card is 40 plus years old. Just a stellar pudge. Awesome. I'm a little bit speechless, David. You've really outdone yourself. I mean, this is just a great array of singles here that are really home runs for my collecting style. I can tell that you've watched quite a bit of my videos and know my collecting habits well, because you really knocked it out of the park. These are home runs. And then here's a really touching addition here. This is just beyond cool. So this is a 1989-90 Topps hockey pack. And I can tell you, regardless of what's in this yellow manila envelope, which we'll get to in a second, this will probably be my favorite item in this entire care package, because this is the set that started it all for me. My dad would bring home packs of hockey cards in the winter of 89-90. He'd stop on his way home from work, pick up these exact wax packs that I'm holding in my hand here, and surprise my brothers and I. We each had our little binder, and we'd sit around the kitchen table, ripping these open, sorting our cards, trading with each other, and just learning the sport that we were beginning to play as students of the game. And that was my first foray into collecting. And as I mentioned in my very first video here on the channel, well over a year ago now, ignited my passion for the hobby that exists to this day, more than 30 years later. Very touching and special that you would include this, David. I'm not even sure if I can open this. I may leave this unopened just because of the memories that it brings back. Or I do have a 90 Topps baseball wax pack that I got from my buddy Caleb, and that was the first baseball release that I ever opened packs of in the spring of 1990, since I had gotten into hockey the winter prior. So maybe at some point I'll do a video, kind of a nostalgia video, where I open this 89 hockey pack and the 90 Topps, baseball pack in the same video. But for today, I'm going to leave this one bundled up because it's really kind of taking me back to sitting at the kitchen table, 30 plus years ago in the winter of 89, and just first getting my exposure to this great hobby that I enjoy to this day. So last but not least, we have this sort of separately included manila envelope here. And inside of this, oh man, we have a beautiful Red Sox autograph. This is stunning. Look at this Jim Lonborg fan favorites autograph from Topps. Just beautiful. These came, like this from Topps with the sticker from the factory, authenticated. This is on card, key member of the 1967 Impossible Dream season. And the timing on this, aside from being just a very thoughtful addition to this package, and you couldn't have known this, David, but my next video, which I'll be recording after this one and posting probably the day after this airs, has a tie to Lonborg. So I will be able to feature this card again in the very next video that I have coming up. So you'll see Jim there again in the very near future. And wow, I can't say enough good things about this community in general and about David specifically. I'll leave a link below. If you haven't stopped by, please do me a favor and go visit T&D Sports Cards. I guarantee you, in his amazing backlog of unopened content, regardless of what sport you're into, what player you collect, what era you like, you will see something there that is fascinating to you, just as I have. So one of the great channels in this community, where we have so many great channels, and obviously an A+ human being who is just beyond generous. So I'm so touched by this. I'm going to stop rambling now, but thank you, David. You absolutely made my day. This was way too much. I'll be reaching out to you individually to convey my thanks as well. And to everybody else, I appreciate you stopping by, and I'll be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. Until then, take care.